all.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Joe Reynolds, and today joining me is DeAnna Bennett ahead of a title fight against Liz Carmouche at the Bellator Hawaii weekend. Ahead of the title fight, how are you feeling for it?
I'm feeling great. I just got done sparring this morning, just kind of hanging out between trainings right now. And can't complain. So I'm doing good.
Yeah, and the last time you fought was almost, I believe, 3 years ago now. And to have this rematch for all the marbles really in Bellator, that world championship, to be able to get the opportunity to have this rematch, what does that mean to you? And what are you looking to show in this rematch as well?
Honestly, it's something that I've been waiting for 3 years, since the second that we got out of the cage, the first one. I knew that I would face her again. Then, like, if you look at my fight a year ago, the first time I fought Justine, they asked me in the post-fight interview, and I said it, and I've been saying it since the first time I fought Liz. I was like, I know she's going to be a champion. She's going to have either the next fight or a couple fights. She's going to make her way up there. She's going to win the belt. And when I get back after the surgery that I had after hers, I knew I was going to have a couple of fights, or however many I had to, and that I would be rematching her for the belt. I said it. I've been saying it for years, and it's played out exactly like that. And so I've been waiting for this for so long, and it's been a little bit surreal. I'm not going to lie. I was like, is it really happening? Did I actually say that it was going to happen? Is it actually going to happen? And I've been working for it for years, and it's hard to describe. Like, I'm ecstatic for it. I've been working hard and trying to improve myself, because I knew I would see her again, because I knew that I was going to make my way up to the title and that she was going to have it. And so, and to be able to do it in Hawaii, oh no, that's terrible. Don't send me to Hawaii, a beautiful vacation, to go win a belt. So.
Yeah, and as well, since that first fight, you've shown massive amounts of improvement, and it shows in every performance in terms of getting back to this stage and getting to this point where you are fighting for the title. In terms of going into this fight, almost completely new fighter, what do you feel are some of those differences that you are going to bring to this fight, and how different do you see this fight being from the first?
So much has happened in the last few years since we were in the cage together. I'm actually at a completely different team now. I train at Marquez MMA in Philadelphia, and there's like a couple of gyms that are connected to Marquez MMA. That's where I've been at for the past year. So that's one of the big differences. And then just trying to be the most well-rounded fighter. You know, I've been in this for a while. I've been fighting as a professional for over 10 years, and sorry, don't mind her. And the biggest thing that I've noticed with teammates is that I've trained with a lot of talented fighters, and the ones that stop being teachable, the ones that stop learning, the ones that they think that they're at the top so they don't have to keep on improving, those are the ones that they don't make it. And people that could be champions that don't and aren't able to, because they stop learning and they stop growing. And so that's a mentality. Like, every day I want to work on myself and improve a little bit more and do what I can to be better. And I've been doing that for the last few years, you know, making opportunities. Never once did I think that I would live in Philadelphia. But I made that move because I knew it would be best for me, for my career, and for eventually winning that title. And the first fight with Liz, number one, I respect her as a fighter. I know she's a tough opponent. I know she's a tough fighter. She's talented. But going into that fight, it was kind of like the name value, where I gave her too much credit. And by that, I mean that where myself is in comparison to hers, not that I took that she's any less great of a fighter. No, she's an amazing fighter, and that's why she's champion. But it was more of where I stand in comparison to her. So going in there, I was a little bit tentative. I kind of held back a little bit on certain things. And, do I still feel like I was winning that fight? Yeah, I was. Doesn't matter in the end, because she's the one who ended up winning, get her hand raised because I got hurt. And so I've been trying to work through that and push myself to be an even better fighter for this next time. Because like I said, I knew I was going to fight her again. So I knew when I went in there again the second time that I was going to be an even better fighter, and just know that I belong in that cage with her, and I am the fighter that's going to win that belt, that I have put everything into it. I've done all the training, and I'm the best version of myself so that I can go out there and win that belt. And so I do feel like it's going to be a really great fight. I know it's going to be a tough fight. But I'm ready and waiting for it. Like I said, I've been dreaming about this for almost 3 years, and the fact that it's here, I'm like, amazing.
Yeah, and as well, obviously, not only are you fighting for the title, you're the main event of the card as well, and to be a main event of such prestigious promotion like Bellator as well, and have all these big things coming into the fight. What's that sort of like preparing for it, knowing what's on the line going into it?
Trying to not freak out, because the fact that I'm headlining a Bellator card, that's like a dream come true. I I find it hard to believe sometimes, because like even when I knew that I had the fight, I was like, okay, well, they'll probably just put us like a co-main event or something like that. Like I didn't believe it for a second. I was like, wait, oh, I'm in the main event. Oh, that's weird. And I remember I was looking up somebody else that was on the card. And so I went to Google it, and it's like, okay, Bellator 294. Oh, Carmouche versus Bennett 2. That's the name of the card. Ooh, that's kind of cool. And so just been trying to enjoy the opportunity that I have. You kind of have to soak it all in, because you at some point I'm going to be retired from fighting. Not that I'm saying that now. I'm nowhere near that right now. I'm enjoying myself too much, and I love it too much. But one day when I get to that point, and I look back on it and be like, I made it to a point in fighting that a lot of people never did. Some people never get to fight for a title fight. Some people never get to actually have a title. And the fact that I have this opportunity and I've worked hard to get to this point means so much to me. So I've been letting it soak in. Can't let it get to my head, because my head's big enough already. I don't need to fall over by trying to keep this up. My neck's not thick enough. But I've been just relishing the entire thing, just because, like I said, I've known so many fighters that were talented fighters that never got to headline a major card, never got to fight for a title. And so I just know that I've worked hard to get to this point.
My dog's even excited for the fight, but as well, in terms of sort of looking at this fight, you see your name on the fight card, your face on the poster, signing the posters as well beforehand. All those things that come before this, and obviously being as the main event as mentioned, is it hard sort of not to relish in that a little bit, when knowing there's still so much more for you to accomplish when it on fight night and even beyond that as well?
Yeah, I just kind of have to take it bit by bit. And like I said, I can't let it get to my head. Not that I would ever. That's just not who I am personally. But just kind of taking it as it is. Like the number one thing for me is focused on my training, and then what happens when the gate gets closed behind and I'm in that cage. Those are the most important things, and then everything else is just like an accessory to that. Everything else is just kind of like an extra little bonus, like, oh, I get to be in the main event. Oh, I get to do this. Oh, I get to do that. For me, just trying to compartmentalize and just be like, okay, the most important thing is the fight and what I do in there and preparing for it. And so, but I'm not gonna lie, it's amazing to be able to have this experience, and to know that I'm gonna have that fight. Like I'm grateful for it, honestly. The fact that I've gotten to this position, and that I'm going to be in that cage fighting for a title.
Yeah, and as well, with the time that you spend in the sport, the positions that you're in as well, obviously you're able to pass on knowledge to other fighters that are coming through, maybe at an amateur, professional level, but to be able to sort of pass on what you've learned while still being able to accomplish great things, does that sort of add even more of a bonus to what you've been able to do in the sport, knowing that you can help the next generation come through as well?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I love being able to help out whoever I can, and seeing so many more females in the sport, especially. Like, that's something that we need to be able to stick together, honestly, whether it's like beginners or not. One of my roommates, she's an amateur fighter. She actually just fought 2 weekends ago and won for CFFC, and just trying to help her navigate through that. She's got great people around her. She had great corners and everything. But being a female and giving kind of my experiences and helping her with that, that I want to, because, I just so happy with where I've gone through and the things that I've gone through in the sport. And if I can help out anyone, even just a little bit, like I would love to. I'm here to support everyone I can. My teammates, I try and make it out to their fights when they fight. I try, and if they have any questions, like, absolutely. Sorry, my cat, she's the center of attention always. But anything that I can do to help the people that are coming up, absolutely. I want them to have the best experience, and I want to see the people around me do well in the sport and keep going so they can achieve their goals and reach their dreams. And if I can help even a little bit, absolutely I will.
Yeah, and as well, it's sort of in the spot, having those times where you're able to switch off a little bit and focus on other things, maybe even the cat that's there or other things that are in your life as well. To have those things where you can switch off a little bit, how important is that as a fighter to not have to be overwhelmed by the pressure of a fight 100% of the time?
Oh, absolutely. You have to have a good balance. And that's actually what I struggle with, because I become obsessed with the fight and obsessed with what I'm going to do in there. But thankfully I have things like Sarah Connor here, who apparently I'm just a jungle gym. So that's not the kind of content we're here for. So let me just cover that up real fast. But you have to have things to keep yourself sane. You can't just be a robot that, like, obviously my number one focus is the fight and everything, but you have to have a good balance, or else you'll go crazy with it. One of my cornermans, one of my friends, that'll be in Hawaii with me, is just like, listen, I need you to calm down, do your breathing respirations, go have some fun. The weather's nice, go outside, enjoy the sun, like, do something, take a rest day, go do something that makes you happy outside of there. And so you have to have that. You have to have at least a little bit of time for yourself to be able to do something that you enjoy outside of the gym, or else it becomes overwhelming. And even on my rest days, I'm like, well, what if I just go for a run? And they're like, just do it outside, so at least you get some nature in. And I'm like, all right, that I can do. But you have to balance it. Like, I paint. That's one of my main things that I do to try and take my mind off of things. Like, if I'm really stressed out with a fight or anything, I'll paint, or I'll cook for somebody, or bake for somebody. And those are, yeah, it's a good balance. But I'm just excited that the fight's almost here.
Yeah, and then just a final thing for myself is a message to the fans for what they can expect to see in this fight for what's coming up ahead.
On April 21st, it's going to be a good fight. I'm coming to put everything into it. I've been training with everything that I have, my heart and soul. I want that title more than anything. It's everything that I've been working towards. And I know Liz is a really tough opponent. I know this personally because I was in the cage with her before. But I know she's gonna be even better this time. She has that belt, and I want it, and it's gonna be a tough fight, but it's gonna be a good fight. And I'm hoping to make it a good war and me come out. I said it before in another interview. I was at her last fight, and I watched as she walked out, and she came out to prove a point to everybody. Because that first one with Velasquez, they're like, oh, it was a weird stoppage, and so I feel like she almost took that personally, and so she obviously did not want that to happen again on the second one. And so I saw it on her walkout, the way that she walked out and her demeanor and everything. I was like, she's gonna win. 100%. I have no doubt that she's going to win, and it is not going to go 5 rounds. And that's the energy that I'm bringing for this fight. I'm coming to prove a point, not to necessarily to anyone else, but like to myself, that this is what I want. And so I'm bringing everything that I can, and I hope she comes out with that same conviction. Like, if she comes out with that energy, that's the energy I'm bringing. I hope we can match each other, and I'm gonna gonna give him the best fight that I possibly could ever give.
Well, there you go. That is everything from myself. If you'd like to take a chance at any sponsors, teammates, anything like that, obviously feel free to go ahead.
Well, first off, thank you for having me. I always
Absolute
appreciate
pleasure.
talking to people, and you've been a pleasure. I can't thank my coaches and teammates enough. The ones that are there. I have a good group of people come to Hawaii with me. They're like, "Oh, you're fighting in Hawaii? Let's go." I'm like, "Where were you when I was in South Dakota?" But it's a little bit bigger, and I'm glad to have people around me. Having that support means the world to me, whether it's my friends, family, fans. Like, every time I get an ounce of support, like, even if it's just like, we're rooting for you, it means the world to me. Like, there's somebody who I've known since I was a kid. We were friends when we were kids, and knew her while I was growing up there in California in Fremont. And she messaged me a long time ago. She's like, "Oh, I know you're gonna have people there in Hawaii with you, but just we're rooting for you." And she had a little picture of me on her calendar with the date, the 21st, circled. And like, I can't tell you how much that means to me. Like, yeah, I've known her my whole life, but like, we haven't really talked recently in the last 2 years, come across the country. But like, any little bit of support, whether it's somebody I know personally or not, it means everything to me, because it's hard to do it if you don't have support. And so, like I said, talking to you, talking to people online, I do my best. I'm really terrible with social media. I usually just post inappropriate things sometimes, and by that I mean weird memes. Nothing inappropriate with this. But I just, number one, thank you for all of that. I can't thank people enough for that. But then sponsors, my fight kit, I always use the same girl Ilex and Defila. I always mess up pronunciation with that. I'm terrible with that. But if you're ever looking for a good fight kit, I will never, ever, unless they tell me I absolutely can't, I will never fight in anything else. She always, if you've seen any of my fights, she does all of my fight kits, and she's amazing. And I can't wait for this one. It's going to be extra special. Has to be for a title fight. So if anyone looking for a fight kit, she's the one to hit up. I always recommend her. Fuel Hunt, it's all my training gear, rash guards and everything. They're the best quality. I love them. I wear them every single day. Literally, if you see me training, I'm wearing something Fuel Hunt. I have performance meal prep that's been helping me food wise, making sure in shape and ready to go for this fight. Rockwell Time, they've been supportive. Vayner Sports, my management, and the company itself. And if anyone is in the Philadelphia area, Coyote Crossing, it's the best restaurant around. It's Mexican food, and I would travel across the country to go and eat there. And anyone in there, it's in Conshohocken, PA. Please go check it out. They've been such a great supporter of me, and I'm a supporter of them because I've loved them before they even know who I was. So can't thank them enough. And I know I'm missing about a million different things, but I can't remember it because I went off on a tangent. My brain's in a million different places. But yes, that. And anyone who puts up with me, because I'm a lot sometimes. So thanks for putting up with me.
Well, there you go. That's everything from me. I really appreciate your time today. Obviously, not a fight to miss. The Hawaii weekend will be a great one indeed. But thank you for your time today. Greatly appreciated.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great day.
You too.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.